Hi there, my name's Claire and this is Stitch Hem Sew. Thank you so much for joining me today for another episode of Friday Sews. Today I've got some sewing to show you, some things that I've been buying and my plans for the rest of June. So if that interests you, please stick around with me today. Now before I get started, I just wanted to tell you about another video that will be coming out after the weekend, either Monday or Tuesday, and that is my collaboration that I've been doing with the lovely Marissa from the Umbrian Sewist. We've both been working on a children's pattern each, and we've got a giveaway associated with that. So please watch out for that video and Marissa's video as well. Do watch the video to find out about the details of the giveaway, and I hope you enjoy that video as well. So those of you that have been watching my videos for a while will know that I really like to take part in Friday Sews. Friday Sews was the brainchild of the lovely Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room, just as a way of bringing the sewing community together, for us to tell you a little bit about what we've been sewing, things we're planning to make, and a little bit of life. So there's lots and lots of us that are posting under that hashtag, so please do pop in that hashtag into the search bar Friday Sews and you'll find a whole host of us, as well as the lovely Jen, that are posting under the hashtag. So let's get on with what I've been up to. Now if you've watched last week's Friday Sews, you will know that I was planning to sew up some makes for another collaboration that I'm doing with Crystal from my social thread. I didn't do that. I just went completely off piece and did something completely different. I did print off the PDF patterns and make some alterations and things, so those are kind of ready for me to cut out my pattern pieces for those two particular makes, but yeah, I just didn't do it. I just went off piste and decided to make some other things. The first thing I made was a t-shirt for my youngest son, and I will be entering this one into the competition that the lovely Sew Joey is running over on Instagram. She's running the t-shirt for summer 22 or 2022 challenge. I'll pop those details up on the screen, and the idea is that you sew up either a t-shirt dress or a jumpsuit in the month of June, and then there are a whole host of different prizes. There are extra kind of prize entries if you sew up something that is maybe from a recycled style or using organic fabric in terms of sort of sustainability, and also if you show your item styled in 3 different ways. So the item, as I say, that I made is for my youngest son. I used it I made it from an old t-shirt of my husband's, and I'll pop a picture in of the original t-shirt. And this t-shirt had sort of shrunk upwards in the wash, but I really like the fabric. It is this really cute flamingo fabric. Now the t-shirt itself kind of has seen better days to a certain extent, but my youngest is in preschool, and he goes through t-shirts at a rate of knots in terms of, you know, he'll go through 2 or 3 a day when he's at preschool, because he's doing painting and playing in the mud and playing in the sandpit and getting wet. And so I just thought, actually, why waste this t-shirt that my husband wasn't able to wear anymore? I would just quickly sew it up into a t-shirt for my son. So I've been really cheeky. I haven't had to hem it because I've used the hem that was already there at the bottom. I've used the Raglan Explorer t-shirt by Waves and Wild, and obviously the Raglan sleeves there. The only thing that I've added new is I put in the neckband. That was a fresh bit of tiny off-cut of ribbing fabric that I had left in my stash. So that's the only thing that I've had to use new, and obviously the thread to sew it up together. I've just used black overlocker thread because that's what I had on my overlocker, and I didn't want to have to change it, but I think for navy that works out okay. And I've just made a little label, so my son knows the back, and which I've just made out of the fabric that the t-shirt is made out of from. So super simple, super quick make, and one that I'll be entering into the competition. If you haven't heard of the challenge that So Jerry is running, I will pop all the details to So Jerry's YouTube channel in the description box, and her Instagram as well, so please do go ahead and check that out and see if you fancy taking part. The next item that I made was using some fabric that I had bought from Felicity Fabrics. I bought 2 items of fabric at the time. The item, this viscose fabric, and a linen fabric. Now this I'd made up into the sagebrush top from Friday Pattern Company. I've made this once before. This version I definitely prefer. I like the drapiness in the viscose, I think it's really nice. And I had bought a blue linen fabric. Both of the pieces were remnants, and I was trying to decide what to make with it. So if you've watched any of my previous vlogs, I sewed for the Sew Frugal 22 the pocket skirt, and I made it in which is the pocket skirt by Peppermint magazine, and I sewed it up in a denim fabric. And then when it came to the pockets, I didn't really like them because they really stuck out, and I did sort of a tweak to the pockets to sort of bring them in a little bit. And I've worn that skirt more than I thought I would, but I still wasn't particularly pleased with the pockets. So I've used the Peppermint magazine pocket skirt as the basis of it, but I've completely changed the side panels which create the pocket, and made my own version of it. So here is the skirt that I've made, and I'm going to pop some pictures in as well that'll show it a little bit better. But what I've done is I've created my own pocket here. Let me take this off the hanger. I think it might be easier to show you. Thought it would be easier with the hanger, but I don't think it is. So I've created this pocket. It's just a sort of a patch pocket almost, although it's sewed into the side seams. I've just sort of self-drafted this sort of pocket design onto it. Overall, I'm pretty pleased with the outcome of this skirt. I'm still not completely 100% about the shape of it. I prefer it to the other one that I made, but I think it's probably time to move on now to a different style of skirt. I've still got the Megan Nielsen Brumbury skirt on my Make 9, which I was planning to make last month, and I never quite got round to it. So I will add that to probably my July plans, because my June plans, as you will find out a bit later, are quite large, and I definitely haven't got time to squeeze that make in. So yeah, I'll definitely be adding this one to my wardrobe, but I'm not completely it's not the skirt, if you know what I mean. You know, like sometimes you will find an item and you're like, yes, I love it, I will definitely make more. This isn't the one. So I will be on the lookout still for my ideal skirt pattern, and hopefully it will be the Brumbury in a couple of months' time. So that's everything that I've actually been making this month. So on to what I've been buying. I, like lots of us in the UK, have been watching The Sewing Bee. It's one of the programmes that I actually watch with my husband. He actually quite likes watching it with me. He's not a sewer, but he quite enjoys watching it with me. The only downside to that is he keeps saying to me, will you make me such and such? Will you make me such and such? So I might have to ban him from watching it, quite frankly, because his list is growing as long as my to make list, and I'm not quite so sure about that. So whilst we were watching The Sewing Bee the other day, there was they were making parkas as the challenge. the pattern challenge, the first bit, and he said to me, oh, I'd really like a parka. So I don't know, I went a little bit crazy or something, and I had seen on Jenny Stitch's website that she had some dead stock fabric of, oh, what's the maker fabric? It's a coat maker, quite famous, Barber fabric. Sorry, just shouted that at you. And I knew that she had some dead stock fabric, so I impulse bought some 2 pieces, because she only had 2 lots of 1.5 meters of this sort of olivey green dead stock Barber fabric. It's relatively thin, but obviously waterproof. So my husband really liked the pattern that was actually on the sewing bee, but as far as I can tell, that pattern doesn't exist as a pattern that you can buy anywhere. So I have found a simplicity pattern that is similar. I think it was I think on the fold line they spoke about it as well. I'm going to pop a picture up in here, but if anybody has another parka pattern for a man that they particularly can recommend, or they think, not necessarily even recommend, but think is very similar to that, the one that was shown on the sewing bee, I'd be really grateful if you could pop it in the comments or drop me a DM on Instagram. I would be really grateful. Thank you so much. So that is the first purchase. Then Felicity Fabrics were having a 50% off PDF patterns over the 50% off paper patterns over the Jubilee weekend. I don't often buy a paper pattern. I'm normally a PDF person. I just find that more convenient for me, but with 50% off I couldn't say no. And again, my husband, when he'd seen the co-ord week on the sewing bee, and even before that, to be honest with you, he had asked me to make him like a summer shirt. So I bought this pattern, the tropical shirt pattern by Wardrobe by Me. I know this is going to be quite popular with people making things for He Made June 22, which is what I'm hoping to do. This is a challenge that's been run by the fantastic Adam from Adam Sews and the lovely Lisa from One Lisa Show, and the idea is to sew up something for the man or boy in your life, and the idea is kind of to raise awareness that there isn't so many patterns for men, and in terms of size inclusivity, they're not as good either. So I've picked this one up for my husband. I'm hoping that I can get it sewn up. I'm hoping that I can make the sizing work for him, because he is 6'2". He's quite broad shouldered. He has got a little bit of a tummy. Shh, don't tell him I've said that. And actually he potentially slightly tops out at the top of this, which he would be horrified with if I told him that the top size was classed as a 3XL, because actually the chest measurement is only a 45 chest, which doesn't, I know that sounds like it's quite big, but for somebody that's quite tall and broad shouldered, and obviously then that gives you quite a big chest measurement as well, actually that's not very high. So I'm already finding out that yes, size inclusivity for men is just as much a problem as it is for women's patterns. So definitely something that I will be taking more note of as I look to buy patterns for my husband. So thank you, Adam and Lisa. I'm already learning from this experience. Now the fabric that I bought to go with this one is actually not from Felicity Fabrics. This I bought from Pound Fabrics. It is a cotton poplin, but it's quite a soft poplin. It's not too thick and rigid, which is really nice. It's got like this sort of nautical map type design on, which I think will be really nice as a shirt for the summer. So, and it was, you know, really reasonably priced. It was something like £2.99 a metre. So I think it was £2.99 a metre. I'll pop the details up on the screen if I put it wrong. And I just think that that will make a really nice shirt, and I haven't spent huge amounts of money if I haven't got this one quite right. So a wearable toile, I guess, is what I'm aiming for with that particular one. And then the other thing that I bought from Felicity Fabrics is this. Sorry for the rustling, but I want to show you the beautiful box. Felicity Fabrics, everything you buy always comes in beautiful packaging with their logo on the box. It's wrapped in brown paper as well, for obviously to arrive with you. You open it up and you get this beautiful box. And then everything is beautifully wrapped inside. So there was more tissue paper inside, which I've actually removed for now. And then I bought this gorgeous bundle of fabrics. And rustle, 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 excuse me. I'm going to drop that on the floor. And yeah, I bought this gorgeous bundle that they were doing. Now, I've been eyeing this up. I think it's been on their website for well over a month or so. And you know, when you look at some fabric and you can't stop thinking about it, but you think to yourself, no, I don't need it. I haven't got anything specific in mind that I'm going to make with it. I shouldn't buy it. And I couldn't resist. After like a month, maybe even longer than that, of every time I went onto it, clicking to see if it was still available, I decided to buy it. I spoke to my husband about it because I was having that sort of guilt feeling, and he said, well, how long have you been looking at it for? I said, well, at least a month, maybe even 2. And he was like, oh, for goodness sake, just buy it. So there's a metre of this sort of cosy colours, flecked sweatshirting, a metre of a gorgeous sort of stripy French, I don't think it's a French terry actually, no, it's just a jersey, and then a metre of this really cute red spotty cotton poplin, all wrapped up in a beautiful red coordinating bow. And then I got 2 coordinating threads that went with it. That was part of the bundle. So rustle, 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 excuse me. And yeah, I just thought they were gorgeous. So really chuffed with that little bundle. So thank you to Felicity Fabrics. And watch this space for what I'll be making with those. But again, not this month, I don't think, because as you will hear in a minute, I've rather overdone it on my plans for June, and I'm very quickly running out of June. Today is Friday the 10th of June, and obviously there's only 30 days in June, so yeah, I've been rather ambitious with those plans. So seeing as how I've been waffling on about my plans for June, let's crack on and talk about those properly. So I have the collaboration project that I'm doing with Crystal from my social thread, and I spoke about those last week, so it's not a secret what we're planning to make. It's the pearl cardigan from Tilly and the Buttons and the Jennifer Lauren handmade bastion culottes, and I shared the fabrics and things in my last video, so I'll pop a link in to that. It's a tealy coloured based jersey fabric for the pearl cardigan, and sort of petrol based with sort of Hawaiian flowers on for the culottes. Hopefully that will work, but I'd also rather like to make a toile. I've got some navy poly cotton that I'd quite like to make a toile of the bastion culottes before then. So that's sort of 3 makes, ouch, that I need to make in quite quick succession. The next thing I'm hoping to make is another t-shirt for the sewing challenge that Sew Jerry is running, the t-shirt for summer sewing challenge. Whether or not I'm going to get that one done, I'm not quite sure, but I've at least done 1 entry already for that particular challenge. The next thing is the shirt for my husband, with the tropical shirt by Wardrobe by Me that I showed you the fabric just a second ago for. The next project that I'd also like to, another challenge that I'd like to take part in, and the reason I'm really wanting to take part in these challenges is that they've supported myself with challenges that I've run in the past and taken part in. So I'd really like to, you know, show support for other people in the sewing community, as well as sewing up lovely clothes, of course, is always a bonus. So the next one is the So Fruity challenge that's been run by Blossom Sandwich. Now, I haven't got the fabric for that one yet. I've ordered it. I'll pop a picture in if I can of the actual fabric that I'm hoping to sew up. It's a French terry fabric, I believe, and as I say, I'm hoping to sew that one up probably into a lightweight sort of sweatshirt, possibly the Hug hoodie, because I'm really like that pattern, and I'd love to have another one of those in my wardrobe. This one is will be quite a bright and bold version, shall we say. Don't think I'll be able to wear this one to work, but yeah, I think it will be a really nice version, and hopefully we'll sew it quite quickly, because obviously I've sewn it up before and I can do most of it over on my overlocker. The thing I need to sew up this month is a pattern test that I'm doing. So yeah, quite a lot of plans for this coming month. So sort of 3 things for the collab that I'm doing: a t-shirt, a shirt, the So Fruity make, and the pattern test. So perhaps a little bit over ambitious for the rest of the month. So if I don't manage a Friday sews next week, that is why. So I'm too busy sewing, but I will definitely tell you about it all towards the end of the month, how I've been getting on. So I think that's everything from me today. I really do appreciate you all for stopping by. Thank you so much. I appreciate everybody that gives me a like and comments and subscribes. It really is fantastic. So do please keep those coming. If you have enjoyed today's video today, please do give me a like. And if you haven't subscribed, please do consider doing so. And until next week, I'd just like to say I hope you have a fantastic week. Take care. Happy sewing. Bye bye.